All right, let's just jump right into this. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating story from Wisdom of Hope that honestly might just completely change how you look at your daily life. We're talking about something every single one of us has, but almost none of us truly appreciate: time. It's this massive, abstract concept, but it's slipping through our fingers literally every second. And sometimes, it just takes a beautifully simple, grounded fable to make us wake up and realize what we're losing.
So I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second. Do you ever feel like you're just wandering carelessly through your days? It's such an easy trap to fall into, right? We just go through the motions, letting the hours blur together into one big mush. Well, in this explainer, we're diving into a powerful story about a young guy who did exactly that, and the brilliant, honestly profound lesson his dad used to finally snap him out of that fog.
Part 1. The Careless Son. So our story kicks off in a small village, and we've got this father who is just at his wits' end worrying about his remarkably lazy son. This kid, he never worked. He literally just wandered around all day, totally aimless, with absolutely zero direction or purpose. Now, you can probably imagine how frustrating that is for a parent, but instead of just yelling at him, because we all know how well that works, the father decides to set up a rather clever, hands-on lesson. He knew that just telling the kid to value his life wouldn't stick. He actually had to show him.
To get things rolling, the dad gives his son 3 super simple, honestly kind of boring instructions involving this old watch. Step 1, grab the watch from the cupboard. Step 2, take it down to the local market. And step 3, ask everyone you run into how much they think it's worth. The boy probably thought, okay, weird errand, but whatever, nodded and just headed off to the market.
Part 2. The price of a watch. Now, it is actually pretty fascinating to watch how society slaps a value on material stuff. The boy gets to the busy market, starts showing the watch around, and the very first person takes a look and says, I'd say that's worth about 500 rupees. Okay, so he moves on to the next person. They look at the exact same watch. Nothing has changed, but they evaluate it completely differently and give a higher estimate of 800 rupees. He keeps at it. He asks another villager, and this guy confidently declares, no way, that's worth 1,000 rupees for sure. So the boy heads back home and gives his dad the rundown. He explains that, sure, maybe a couple of people tossed out the same number, but overall, there was absolutely no consensus on what this thing was worth. Everyone had their own entirely subjective opinion on the value of this physical object. The father just gives this knowing smile, tells his son to toss the watch back in the cupboard, and lets that first half of the lesson simmer for the night. Part 3. The price of time. All right, the next day rolls around and the dad calls his son over again. He sends him right back to the market with that exact same old watch. But this time, he gives him a wildly different, completely confusing request. Yesterday, the job was to ask the price of the watch itself. But today, the father says, don't ask the price of the watch. I want you to ask people the price of the time inside the watch. The kid is, understandably, totally baffled. But he does what he's told and heads back to the market. And yeah, as you might guess, this experiment was a total disaster. The poor kid felt incredibly embarrassed because the villagers treated his question with absolute mockery. People were staring at him like he had 2 heads. Some literally laughed right in his face. Others just shooed him away, calling it a completely foolish, ridiculous question. Because in this busy, hyper-materialistic market, nobody had the time or the patience to even think about the abstract value of time. Part 4. The Watchmaker's Wisdom. Right when the boy was feeling totally defeated and ready to just throw in the towel, he stops by this tiny shop where an old man is hunched over repairing watches. He gathers up whatever courage he has left and asks this watchmaker the exact same question that just got him laughed out of the town square. But this time, the old shopkeeper actually pauses his work. He looks up at the boy with this really kind, understanding smile. This wise old guy knew exactly what the boy was trying to ask, and even better, he completely understood the lesson the dad was trying to impart. And the whole point of this story comes down to this one powerful explanation. The watchmaker says softly, son, you cannot put a price on time. You can give millions of rupees, but you cannot buy back even 1 second of your life. I mean, really let the weight of that sink in. It doesn't matter how rich you become or how many dollars or rupees you hoard, you literally cannot purchase a single second of the past. It's impossible. He goes on to break down the dual nature of time, beautifully contrasting its fleeting reality with our own agency. Basically, the bad news is that time passes, it's relentless, and you can't stop it. But the good news, and this is incredibly empowering, is that you have the choice of how to spend it. As the boy listened, you could tell something was finally clicking into place for him.
Part 5. Spending your 24 hours.
Now let's see how the watchmaker ties this all together into a major wake-up call. He brings up this one powerful number, 24. Every single human being on this planet is given the exact same, non-negotiable allocation of 24 hours in a day. It is the ultimate universal constant. It's just a brilliant way to frame human equality, honestly. The old man points out that the richest person and the poorest person get the exact same daily allowance of time. Your background, your social status, your bank account balance, none of that matters to the clock. The absolute only difference between the most successful person and the least successful person is simply what they choose to do with their 24 hours.
The boy's eyes just lit up. He finally got it. The penny dropped. He thanked the old man profusely, sprinted home to his dad, who was definitely pretty proud at this point, and entirely transformed his life from that day forward. No more aimless wandering around the village. He rolled up his sleeves, started working hard, and finally grasped the completely unquantifiable value of every single passing moment.
So before we wrap up, let's just really cement these unyielding rules of time from our source material. Number 1, it is completely free for everyone, yet it is utterly priceless. Number 2, you can't buy it, but you absolutely can use it. Number 3, you can't stash it in a vault and save it for a rainy day tomorrow, but you can spend it right now. And finally, the most sobering rule of the bunch. Once it's gone, it is gone forever. You can never, ever get it back.
I really want to leave you with this final thought to chew on, and hopefully it encourages you to take the reins on your own time starting right this second. Knowing that you can never, ever buy back a single tick of the clock, how are you going to choose to spend your next 24 hours? Are you going to just wander, or are you actually going to build something? The choice is 100% yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now get out there and spend your time wisely.